Good afternoon, everyone. For presentation, for proposal presentations, you have, pay attention please. Thank you. Proposal presentation, Professor Lin will be not here, so I will be evaluating your proposals today. You will given 7 to 8 minutes for the presentations and 2 minutes for the QA. Every member has to be here for the presentation. Okay? So we will start from team 1. Team 1. Team 1 are not there? You can come.
Two of our members are right here. And one is here arriving. He lives outside, and he's now going to the station. Because he will work for Raya Bagan.
Now start. Who are not there? Who are not there?
Who are not here yet?
Who is supposed to present? They are not. Is group 2 is ready?
Okay, group 2. Group 2. Here.
Okay, you can present it, anyone, no issues. Who is not there? Tell me. Who is not there? Okay, you can present. Start. No, presentation. So whoever wants to speak, or maybe you have divided the slides among yourselves. So maybe one of them get the other person. Maybe we can give a good round of applause to them.
Good afternoon, everybody. We are the first group, and we are going to talk today about artificial intelligence.
Artificial intelligence, what also known as AI, artificial intelligence is also, you can access our presentation from here, but artificial intelligence, also known as AI, is a system that has human-like cognitive functions. These systems are able to learn, process, and reason. They're able to help us with different stuff such as answering questions, writing reports, essays, how these systems work. These systems have complex algorithms and functions, and they're able to do generalized learning. They're also able to also reason abilities, and they do problem solving. These generalized learning, these systems will recognize patterns and give you answers. These systems, reasoning abilities, these systems will adapt and provide new solutions and give you appropriate answers. And with problem solving, they will use the data and give you solutions.
Guys, I want to tell about you the history. So, from who is the first now about AI? It's like philosophers who wanted to express human thinking as the mechanical control, and then they found it in 19050 until 19056. They are found in workshop held on the campus of Dartmouth College, USA. And then they are this AI. In first AI, we can apply it like a mechanism, mechanic learning, mathematical optimization, artificial networks, statistic, economic, and another. You can see like. And then the history from AI is very long, but so I make it like this one, so it's little bit chaos. I'm sorry. So we have like from AI, first AI, and then AI boom, AI winter, AI agents, and the last one is until now is artificial general intelligence. So when you like we first is going to advantage of AI in daily life.
Hello everyone, I like to talk about the advantages of AI in our daily life. So before I talk about the advantages, I want to make a quick introduction of the users of AI in our daily life. Actually, there are many users in our daily life, but I put some very common ones. It's like communications, for example, like sending email or message, and search engines. Is Google. There are many search engines, but Google is a very familiar one. And transport and delivery platform, for example, Google Maps, Foodpanda, and Uber, and fraud prevention, like a fraud detection system in credit card. And assistant chatbot, for example, like ChatGPT, Siri, Alexa, is very familiar chatbot with like students or like many people. And the last is entertainment, like YouTube and Netflix and so on. So for the advantages, for sending message is convenient. For example, if you want to send a message to a girl you like, for example, everything you need is just hi and send. So it's very convenient. You don't need to like write a paper or send by post office. And for the search engine is accurate and relevant result. You can search everything that you want. And for the Google Map, like AI, like how can I say? It can use the, how can I say it? Imagination technologies to show your destinations on your like displays. And for fraud prevention, it can stop theft. Like AI can analyze the transactions and allowing the credit card companies to prevent from thirst and prevent your financial losses. And for ChatGPT, I have the questions for you. Like, have you ever asked like accurate questions by using ChatGPT? So I think it's like a more patient thinking, right? And for the last one, for the entertainment, it provides certifications like it analyzes the user data and provides personalized recommendations. If you look at the others recommendations, you will see that it won't same to you. And for the next part, she will present.
And now I'm going to talk about the advantages of AI in engineering. The first one is reflect issues instantly. AI can collect and analyze the data of the machine, so they can know the machine when the machine needs to be repaired and reduce the chance of its breaking. The second one is reduce environmental impact. Under AI's precise prediction, we can reduce inputting materials that might cause pollution and unnecessary resources. The third one is increased productivity. Unlike humans need to rest, AI can work every day and every time. And this can eliminate the workload of people. The last one is create a safer work environment. AI automates processes, so it can reduce the risk of human error that may lead to accidents and workplace injuries.
To summarize and why we have chosen this topic is about the Global Sustainable Development Goals. We choose the one that is based on innovation, technology, and also infrastructure, one of the 17 goals that are proposed for the 2030 calendar. There is a fact that every day we are using AI, so since the moment that it has arrived, is expect that by the years that are coming, the AI can be used also in health and also like in the industries and engineering, making more development at the area, also an infrastructure, making it more specific and accurate. Also for the economy, and more specific about the economy that is will make by the technology and the artificial intelligence that every day will be rising of their cases per domain that are here specified, which are the problems that we expect to be solved before 2030.
We're talking about AI, so sometimes we think it's really affected on our daily life. But to say sometimes it also has disadvantage in our life and in some of place in life. We forget on infrastructure, so we can receive on. In our group, just make you forget on SDGs now. So there's disadvantages on SDGs now. You can receive, I forget on 10 main disadvantages, especially in equality. Equality, AI can give us this very between the poor and the developed country. And also in the SDGs go on in user development. Next one is access barrier. This middle infrastructure and resource in some area can receive AI adoption for infrastructure and development. Next one is data privacy. This also it relies on data and also raises concern about the privacy and security when used in SDGs 9 initiative. This one is just discipline. This one is really so important. Automatically binds AI industrial problems can lead to job loss and economic stress, challenges for cyber worker. Next one is data. This one is region lagging AI education and training misguided to harness AI for SDGs. Next one is bias and fairness. This one is really important. AI system with perpetuates bias, mining the inclusivity objectives on SDGs now. Next one is regulatory challenges. This one is formulating this regulation for AI in infrastructure and industrialization. It's a complex and evolving task. Next one is environmental impact. This is some AI technology have substantial environmental footprint, potentially conflicting with SDG 9 sustainability aim. Next one is financial balance. Consumer finance, developing and implementing AI solution can be costly, impacting the financial flexibility of SDG 9 product. Next one is security risk. As AI integrates in critical infrastructure, it began a potential target for cyber attack, poses security risk to essential services. The most important one is AI has been recently utilized to develop citizen scope, and also it's effect on our it's actually an example to human rights due to AI misuse, and one of its greater problem is the lack of information received by the citizen on the type of analyzed data and the consequence this may have on their life.
Okay, we are going to talk about the conclusion. I will use SWOT to present it, and some of you will ask, what is SWOT? SWOT means strength, weakness, opportunity, and threat. And this, I think AI's advantage is increasing productivity and cost minimization, and also assists our daily life a lot. And weakness is lack of imagination and can just using specific word. Like AI can be the judge to deliberate on some criminal case, right? And I think more and more things will use AI. Now, like AI not only using industry but also using our daily life. Like AI can help you to draw a picture, answer the question, and even some composer use AI voice to imitate some singer's voice to compose something easier. Although it brings a lot of convenience for us, but it still has some issues, like people's job will be decreased and displacement by AI, and your privacy might be leaked. So that's it. So here's the reference. And thank you.
So, we are talking about AI for SDG 9.
We were talking about AI
Disadvantages of AI for SDG 9. Is it so?
for the number 9. Yes, for the
SDG 9. So what are the disadvantages you want to cope up with, or you want to remove it? How you do it? Because you told about disadvantages. Yeah. So is your focus is on disadvantages or AI application for SDG 9? Which one is the focus? Your proposals, what your proposal says that? Being aware of the disadvantages. You will propose some mechanism which suggests, make aware of the disadvantages of AI.
Yeah.
Right?
for the ambassador solution that we use for DG9 is
Maybe you can take some one or two disadvantages and propose something on that. In the next round. Instead of making an overview. For SDG 9, AI applications are already which are in the market. and propose that what are the disadvantages and disadvantages. This is the technology which can remove this disadvantage, like cybersecurity can remove the security aspects. This type of idea you can propose to remove a specific disadvantage rather than overall.
We were specifically mostly the disadvantages in the technology development that is not recognized, it was about infrastructure and also technology advancement engineering. So that's why it's mostly disadvantages that are commented where we are not proposed. Why is the use of this?
Be concise on that.
Yes.
Be specific on some parts. Because this is too. Be specific on the second one. Whether everything is wrong. One more?
But something.
Team 2.
Good afternoon, everyone. Good afternoon, Professor Patel. We are Team 2, and we are going to talk about nanotechnology.
Nanotechnology is a high-tech field that involves manipulating and manufacturing material on an extremely small scale. And this technological revolution has opened the door to numerous application areas, ranging from medicine to electronics and even environmental protection. And the following page will show you more about the nanotech detail.
So, as was previously mentioned by my groupmate, nanotechnology is a field focused on manipulating matter roughly 1 to 100 nanometers in size to build more complex structures. This means you'll be working sometimes on an atomic level with molecules and so on. The principles involves creating and studying and using materials, devices to, its principles include creating, studying, and using materials, devices, and systems at this minuscule level by combining physics, chemistry, and other sciences, biology, and engineering. We get to understand and control matter's unique properties and behaviors at a nanoscale. This enables us to develop innovative applications, and this can be expanded in various fields. Our team will be focusing on the industrial sector, good health, which expands into the medical field, and these are in collaboration with the United Nations Sustainable Development Goals.
This is about Sustainable Development Goals, as known as SDGs. Here are 70 goals about this, about SDGs, and this includes no poverty, zero hunger, good health and well-being, quality education, gender equality, clean water and sanitation, affordable and clean energy, decent work and economic growth, industry innovation and infrastructure, and reduce inequality, sustainable cities and communities, and responsible consumption and production, and climate action, life below water, life on land, peace, justice, and strong institutions, and the last, partnerships for the goals.
Okay, for the first SDGs that we want to talk about is about the SDGs number 9, in industry innovation and infrastructure. For this part, I'm going to explain the contribution of nanotechnology to SDGs in industrial department. So while it may not seem like it, nanotechnology is already used in our daily life, especially in industrial department. One of the examples of using nanotechnology is nanoscale additive polymer composite material that are being used in baseball bats, luggage, motorcycle, helmets, and also automobile parts, and so on. Nanoscale additive polymer composite material is used to reduce weight on an object, also improve texture, and also even improve durability. These composite materials can also be engineered in a way so that the physical properties of the system material, so it can cater toward a specific purpose. Next.
Other than its contribution in the industrial department, nanotechnology is also used in the health sector, like specifically in the health sector, contributing to new inventions such as improving drug delivery systems, diagnostic tools, and tissue engineering and regenerative medicines. With improving drug delivery system, nanotechnology improves it by increasing the drug's stability and increases its effectiveness, hence improving the drug delivery system. Under that, in diagnostic tools, nanotechnology can introduces us to new diagnostic tools such as biosensors and like nanoscale imaging sensors, which helps in more accurate diagnosis and like situations where you do stuff like that, right? And then there's also tissue engineering and regenerative medicines, which use nanotechnologies to sort of create scaffolds, which mimics the extracellular matrix, which is related to the regeneration and repair of damaged tissues. These three examples are some of the examples where nanotechnology is used to fulfill one of the goals in SDGs, which is good health and well-being.
In addition to the industrial and health department, nanotechnology has a major role in food industry. Over the past few years, scientists have developed nanostructured food ingredients with impressive results. One of the key advantages of nanotechnology in the food industry is the ability to improve taste, texture, and consistency, which means by manipulating materials, food manufacturers can create the food that are not only delicious but also have a pleasing mouthfeel and consistent quality. But it doesn't stop there. Nanotechnology is also helping to extend the shelf life of certain food ingredients, which means less food waste and more sustainable practices.
Currently, nanotechnology is mainly used or employed in specialized subjects or domains. However, in the coming years, that is expected to change, as nanotechnology is expected to make significant progress in science and engineering, such that anticipated innovations includes the development of nanorobots for precise medical procedures, advanced nanomedicine for targeted disease treatments, and novel applications in environmental protection, showcasing the vast potential of nanotechnology to bring about groundbreaking advancements.
So in conclusion, nanotechnology is one of the most promising fields in today's industry. The advancement in nanotechnology can have a major impact and also reshaping our world, offering limitless potential in various domains. So that's all from Team 2. I hope you enjoy. Thank you.
How nanotechnology is related to zero hunger? What do you mean?
It's really
It's related to, like, no one sleeps without food. It's the issue, like, no one would sleep without food. Like, every people have at least food to survive in this world. How nanotechnology can help this?
Probably, as far as I've ever read about nanotechnology in agriculture too, and it can reverse the agriculture, especially because people need to food.
It's related, like, more growth
Of the plants, like can pH of the soil and also can imitate the
So in the
natural.
next proposal, this was the overview that you choose nanotechnology in your proposal. In the second round, what you will choose, which SDG? Of giving it precisely in the healthcare or in agriculture or something? What is the first and the second proposal?
To be honest, we haven't exactly decided.
But you have decided that you will work for nanotechnology.
Yeah, we do have to decide.
Okay, so you have to go ahead and choose something.
Just one.
Oh, yeah.
One SDG or two SDG, it's okay. But choose something like a broad area like agriculture or health care or something, or material or industry, whatever.
Also more specific.
More specific, okay? So it will be helpful. You can read some papers.
I mean, as in like if we chose,
Okay.
if we chose like healthcare department, and one of our examples like diagnostic tools, we need to like show our
Put
diagnostic
some
tools.
technology research papers and show them that it can help us. Match them. That's all. If you are not producing something, you can match some technology. That's also a good way. Like someone has discovered something, but their application maybe varies. If you match some technology with some applications, it's also an innovation. Okay. Thank you. Team 3.
I just wrote them, no man. The moment I went on stage, my mic flagged away.
Everyone is. Okay, I think we're about to start now. So, hi everyone. We're from Team 3 and we're about to present our presentation. Yeah. Next slide, please. I'm Leisha Novea, and here are my friends.
I'm Nicholas George. I'm Khaled Angia.
I'm Enrico Fernandez.
I'm Soshi.
I'm Jota Narula.
So this is our the structure or table of contents that we are about to talk today. It consists of first background, and the second one is problem, and why SDG 7, condition and solution. Next, please. Yeah, this is our title, Marine Energy for Taiwan Source of Electricity. Background, this is background. Next, please. Yeah, so the background is we know already. We know already that Taiwan is a global hub for technology and electronics. Like we know TSMC, they are the maybe like the one of the biggest source of semiconductors chips. And as Taiwan development continues to grow, so too does the requirement for electricity, and the need for energy is increasing. Yeah, so one of the Taiwan's economy's power is from its technological power, and thus Taiwan needs abundant source of electricity. And despite in need of an abundant source of electricity, Taiwan is still targeting to phase out nuclear energy and also actively investing in renewable sources like solar and wind power. However, the solar and wind are having several drawbacks. The drawbacks is it's weather dependent. So for the solar itself, it's not always no sunlight during night or cloudy days for solar. And also for the winds, if the wind speed is not fast enough, then the turbine may not generate enough energy. And also it's intermittent, and also the land use. And this is the problem that we want to solve. Yeah. So what's the problem? What's the problem? So Taiwan's energy consumption relies more on imported energy, and also because of the source of Taiwan is from fuels, and fuels itself is like from other countries, and this makes it vulnerable to fluctuation and uncertainties in the global energy market. Yeah, as you can see there, yeah. And why is this concern? Yeah, as you can see there, fossil fuels reliance, and eventually it's gonna lead to the source depletion, which can also make it more expensive, and it makes also less competitive in global market. And environmental degradation, if you see it in like it's not environmentally friendly, and it's high cost in long term. What we mean by high cost in long term is that it's gonna eventually have a source depletion, and that's why it will cost higher than today. Yeah.
So in this slide, we can see that Taiwan has a target in 2025 that we will be using mostly natural gas, and we will use less coal, and we will increase our renewable energy output. So in 2019, almost all energy, most of Taiwan energy is imported from coal thermal power generation, and so it is as Aisha has explained that so Taiwan really needs to increase its energy independence, because to reach this target, it will not only cause Taiwan to be greener, to produce more green energy, but it also will give way to Taiwan energy independence.
Okay, why SDG 7? The goal of SDG 7 is to achieve global sustainability. It focuses on affordable and clean energy. It focuses on affordable is crucial for the development of agriculture, business, communication, education, healthcare, and transportation. Why is achieving SDG 7 is important to Taiwan? For the first is cleaner energy. By cleaner energy, it reduces carbon emissions and mitigates climate change. Second one is energy security. By achieving energy security, it enhances Taiwan resilience and reduces dependency. The third one is affordable energy. It is less cost since Taiwan is surrounded by the ocean. The last one is reliable and sustainable energy. It means it resilience to the resource depletion. While achieving the SDG 7, the purpose the utilization of marine energy as more sustainable and less vulnerable alternative. However, it has limitations.
First one is wind power. The land resources are limited and the mountain slopes are large and landslide area is not suitable for installation. Next one is the wind is sporadic. The supply cannot be stable. For example, in summer is the peak period for electricity consumption. The wind is the weakest. The next one is onshore wind turbines are prone to public protest due to problems such as low frequency and noise, flicker of lights and shadow. The last one is the installation cost is really high, and the issues such as high engineering difficulties and marine ecological conservation. The second one is solar power. Land resources are limited and large area is needed. There is not enough sunshine to serve as continuous and stable source of power supply, and the cost is too high. Third one is hydroelectricity. The impact on ecological environment.
Okay, and next I will talk about the marine energy. There are some cons about it. The first, it will impact on the ecological environment. Second, Taiwan's typhoon can bring extremely high waves. And the third, currents will also improve its efficiency. And the fourth, the depth of Taiwan's ocean can vary. Some may be shallow like Taiwan Strait, and some may be deep like the Pacific Ocean. And the fifth, the corrosion and material degradation will happen if the salinity levels in seawater is high. This can lead to increased maintenance and replacement costs, and the last, seabed composition, like it may be rocky, sandy, or muddy, and it might impact the installation.
For the solution, we choosing tidal steam turbines. And the tidal steam turbine is one kind of the technology that producing the tidal energy that one type of the marine energy, which is basically just turn the underwater kinetic energy to the electricity. And the marine energy is including like tidal wave and salt gradient and the thermal ocean. And as you can see that how does it function, it's basically just turbine under the water, and when the water come over the turbine, it's gonna spin, and when it spin, it's gonna produce the energy like the wind turbine, which is using a dynamo. And after that, it's gonna connect with the underwater cable to the offshore cloud, and then distribution after that.
So to talk again about why to use marine tidal energy is three reasons: the environment impact, the energy production, and the economy. So for the environmental impact, the use of marine tidal energy would greatly reduce the amount of CO2 emissions from the use of fossil fuels and coal. For energy production, with the use of marine energy, Taiwan will have a more sustainable and reliable energy production source. And within the economy, having this form of energy will create jobs, and there will be a need for installation and maintenance of the systems. So for the goals of using marine tidal energy, Taiwan is aiming to to reduce its reliance on fossil fuels and other forms of imported energy. So the use of marine tidal energy is sustainable and reliable energy production source that will reduce its reliance on fossil fuels and coal. And to touch again on the environment and the economy, it will reduce emission of CO2 emission and greenhouse gases, and increase employment opportunities. So for marine energy in Taiwan, using marine energy will help Taiwan with its sustainable development goal, as it produces clean, affordable, and renewable energy. Through using marine energy, Taiwan will have a more stable production of energy and will be able to make energy more affordable, as it will not be imported. Additionally, Taiwan is an island, so it will always have access to the ocean, and so it will always have a constant production of energy, making it much more reliable than solar and wind energy, both of which are heavily weather dependent.
So for the concept of power production from marine renewable energy, as you can see from the data shown in the slide, there is a big potential in exploiting ocean current to produce power. As you can see, Taiwan has quite speedy ocean current flowing through its northern tip and the Tongku archipelago. So, okay, next slide. So, to calculate its power, we will be using the calculation for kinetic energy to modify kinetic energy to find its power. So it's 0.5 times the density of water times or air times A or area, and the speed of the fluid into the power of 3 and times the efficiency of the machine. So the assumptions we make first is that the density of ocean salt water is 1,025 kilogram per cubic meter, and the density of air is 1.293 kilogram per cubic meter. The underwater current is approximately the average of that the previous data showed, which is, and it is, we will make the assumption that it's the same as the surface current, which is 1.46 meter per second, and this is a very simplified assumption. This is a very bold assumption to simplify the calculation. The wind speed used for comparison is 6.39 meter per second, and the efficiency for ocean turbine is 45%, and wind turbine is 50%. We assume that it is going through it is in steady state, and all the properties are unchanging. Okay. Next slide. The turbine power. The turbine power is produce 1 megawatt of energy. For ocean current and wind current, we can see that the wind requires as much as 11,800 meters squared to produce 1 megawatt of energy. What this area means is the width of the turbine, how wide the turbine should be to produce 1 megawatt of energy. So it doesn't really necessarily have to come from one turbine, but it can be multiple or maybe hundreds of turbines, which are maybe 100 meter in its area, with 100 meter of area. So the wind requires much wider area to produce 1 megawatt of energy, but the ocean current only requires about a ton of that with 1,393 meters squared. This shows that since the ocean water density is much higher than wind density, even though the ocean current moves at a much slower pace than the wind speed, the turbine is able to produce more energy per square meter of the turbine area compared to wind energy. So in conclusion, the utilization of marine energy offers several advantages. It is not weather dependent like solar and wind, and it's more reliable
and consistent source of power. Additionally, marine energy can contribute to enhanced energy security as it generated domestically, reducing vulnerability to global energy market fluctuation and geopolitical tensions. Thus, it will contribute to the achievement of SDG 7 in Taiwan. And furthermore, from the calculation provided in the previous slide, the water turbine is also able to produce 1 megawatt of energy while utilizing smaller turbine area compared to wind power turbine due to the density of seawater. These findings further supports the proposal to utilize marine energy, as it is not only more affordable and reduce emissions, but also reduce material costs needed. But we still need to remember that an underwater construction or installation is very difficult with the difficulties that was mentioned earlier, like we have to deal with corrosions caused by the salinity of the water and maybe even by corrosions caused by marine life. So even though it sounds simple to build an underwater turbine, it's actually a very great challenge, and it requires a high level of technological advancement. Okay, these are the sources that we use to on this presentation. Okay. Okay, thank you so much everyone for watching our presentation.
So you are installing, your proposal is installing a marine turbine in a seabed?
Yes.
Yes. So we can disturb the marine color.
Yes.
How do you think it?
We have to collect the data on where we can safely install it and apply more research.
Better you can use a wave energy, install on the surface something. So there are a lot of research going on, installing the equipment on the wave, that is the surface of the sea. And utilizes the waves, currents, don't go for a bed because it will never bring back to disturb the ecological system in the sea. You cannot disturb it. It's again a type of environmental pollution we do it. That, instead of that idea, to search more research because many options are there. They are with the sea surface, like the surface. Make some actuators are there and convert it into you can find it, it's okay. But it was good. You have made some calculations. Nice.
Okay, we will consider to okay. Okay, we will consider the option.
If anyone wants to write a newspaper, review on different techniques of marine power generation. Team 4.
will start my name is Midterm Jun and hello guys, my name is Sikha.
My name is Sri Alexander. My name is Xian Bisa.
My name is Gregory.
My name is Chus. So today we are going to talk about robot, and we divide it into three different parts. And first one is introduce about robotics, and because there can apply in many different aspects, and so we take five for example. The first one we need to talk is about cotton delivery, and second is medical, and the third one is car product process, and next is agriculture, and the final one is budget. And after we introduce about that, and we will show you how they apply in the achieve global sustainable development goals. So, robots. Why we need robots? For many reasons, and I think the most important is that can serve the lowest cost. And like other reasons, like robots can work without legs, and
so, as we have seen in the table of content, it is the application of using robotic. So, for my part, I will introduce you guys to robotic in healthcare, and the subtitle of it is medical in the new era. So why do we need robot in healthcare? We need robot in healthcare because robot has benefit in healthcare. For example, precision and accuracy. For people like real human, an expert or a professional doctor, it takes years of practice and experience to reach precision and accuracy. But for robot, we only need to input algorithm and run the program and adjust the function of it, and it can reach the precision and accuracy better than human with years of practice and experience. Extend reach and dexterity. So if you want to reach the narrow part of a body, for example in the intestine, we need to open some parts in order to reach that part that we need to treat or cure. But for robot, we can design some robot that can go through mouth or go through other part of our body and treat it carefully, and it will enhance the rehabilitation. Minimize invasive surgery. So for human, we have a bigger tool such as the metal or some traditional equipment for medical doctor or surgery. But for robot, we have the micro scale and the nanotechnology that we can minimize the wound or the part that we need to open in order to perform the surgery. So we only need to open a small wound in order to get that. Consistency. As a human being, we cannot reach the level of consistency of a robot. We cannot make things every time accurate as robots do. So we need a robot in order to assist us to get 100% consistency. Telemedicine. So especially for people who come from developing country, we have a lower standard of medical. So in order to treat some specific disease treatment, to receive some high standard or high quality treatment, we need to travel into other developed country in order to receive them. But for telemedicine, we can use online platforms such as video call or video diagnosis in order to get a professional doctor from a developed country in order to treat our treatment high quality and decrease the cost of traveling, spending times, and also the extra cost such as accommodation in another country. 24/7 availability. As a human, we have a restricted time such as working time and resting time. But for robot, we can perform any treatment anytime, urgently, or even emergency. Cost efficient. It takes thousands of dollars in order to hire or get a treatment from a professional doctor. But we can get like a precise level of treatment from a robot which
less cost and extra efficiency. Reduce the risk for healthcare workers. For example, during the COVID pandemic, we need a lot of doctors to interact physically with the patient in order to treat the COVID-19. As we know, COVID-19 is a disease that can infect people through air, breath, and other methods. So if we use robot can treat patients with care and more physically touch than a human being, because they are not scared to be infected by the virus, and the people who remote that robot can also see clearly about patient issue. Remote surgery is a high-tech technology that I think scientists focus about it, because surgery is a big performance of medical treatment that need to be performed on patients. So remote surgery is a surgery that is performed by a doctor miles away or even overseas to a patient, which we set in the same custom, and the doctor going to the surgery room and patient as in one hospital, and the patient is sleep in another bed or custom of another hospital, and doctor can perform the surgery by technology and control the robot in another hospital to perform surgery with accuracy and precision. So what can robot help people in healthcare? I want to introduce the three type of robot that I think it is the most likely to be appear in the healthcare industry in the future. First of all, as I said, surgical robot. Surgical robot are the cutting-edge device that assist surgeons doing the medical procedure. Equipped with robot arms, specialized tool, and enhance the precision, dexterity, and access in minimal invasive surgery. So, as I say, this robot can perform most accurate, minimize the wound, and also increase the rehabilitation of the patient, and faster patient recovery. Secondly is the care robot. Care robot assists individually, especially we focus on elderly and those with disability that far behind people with ability or normal people. As we know, we cannot fully understand about the world of the elderly and the world of the people with disability. But if we also cannot 100% help them. So if we have a robot or device that can remind them about some medical reminder, mobility support, and also some other vital sign, I think it will enhance their quality of life every day. Delivery robot can deliver medical equipment through hospital, like from one floor to one floor, or delivery goods from one part to other part. But it's more related to the logistics. So I will left this to my teammates. So SDG goal. A robot in healthcare also help people achieving the third target of United Nations SDG, which is good health and well-being. Healthcare robot enhance the medical service, improve patient care, and assist healthcare professionals in order to perform a high quality treatment. They contribute in health outcome, reduce medical error, and ensure that more people will have access to hospital with quality and affordability. So I will pass this to my teammate in order to introduce to the more application of robots.
So how can topic that I say is content delivery. So how can content delivery actually reduce poverty and zero hunger? So first, many companies that do content deliveries today use human power to do deliveries, which means that humans has limited time and limited standard. Meanwhile, a robot can cover those costs that humans have. Otherwise than that, content delivery can reduce poverty in several avenues. There are 6. So the first one is job creation. In job creation, content deliveries can make employment opportunities for chef or maybe support staffs. The second one is supporting small businesses, which content deliveries usually starts as startups or small companies. which they can improve on the economic stability on the nation, and like also they can help companies that would produce the robots to make more income, which means they can make more opportunities for people to reduce the poverty that we have. The third one is food donations. So many restaurants has like food excess, which if we can donate those to people in needs, can actually help those with zero hunger, so that like counters the point. Reduce food waste. So by reducing the food waste that we have means that people who has like limited resources, they can have foods like nutritious meals for them to eat. Fifth one is supporting affordable meal options. So currently deliveries has a lot of meal options with like different prices. People with less money, or maybe like those who are homeless, they can actually have maybe like some money that they get from the street to buy some foods that has like cheap price, and they have like affordable options for them to choose. The last one is contributing to local events. So a way to promote like to robots and also their connecting deliveries to like come to local events to give out foods, and also like improve on the economy by making like promotions, well, can increase on the local tourism too. So while all these points may not be a complete solution to this complex issue, it's 2 points from the ICTs, that is poverty and zero hunger, it can be a part of the broader strategy to address these challenges that we have.
So we use robots to make cars for some units. First one is assembly. Because robots can install small parts of cars at a very high speed and rarely mistaken. So we use it to make cars. And painting, sealing, and coating. Because painting this rubber is always poisonous. So it will be better if we use robots to do it. And third is machine handling and part transfer. The works such as loading and unloading CNC machines, and pouring molten metal in powder is dangerous for humans. So it will be better if robots do it on humans' behalf. And the materials removal, because robots can do it more accurate. So, and it can work for a very long time. So robots can do it better than humans.
Next, we're going to talk about agriculture and application of robotics on it. So the first one is seeding. Seeding is simple, right? Because actually we can use the farmers to put the seed in the ground, but I think this task is too simple for human, because human can do some more complex things, so we can use robots to do that seeding. And next we talk about the harvesting. This one is like, in the picture you can see that there's some robot arms to pick up the ripened fruits, and this harvesting, I think now is the robotic is that advanced that can sense that if the fruit is already ready to be picked up or not. And now we talk about packing. This one is also can be done by human, but now we can use robot to also separate which food, for example, the apple in the picture, which apple is good to be eaten, or which one is too rotten to be eaten. So they can separate and also pick up the good one into the package. And next is palletizing. This one is it's important to be done by robots, because this one is too heavy for human to put in these layers, in the faster way. So we can use now, we can use the robot to do that thing too. Next is called maintenance. We use the cars, right? And the engines and the inside of the cars will be go through maintenance. So like the crops, we also have the maintenance process to individual. It's called pruning. It's like a cut some branches that is not no more bear some fruit. So we cut the branches that is not good enough out. And the last one is livestock applications. This one is more like related to animals. This individual is the process of to milking the cows. So we can use robot to get the milk from the cows.
And now we will talk about the application of the logistics. Then in Taiwan, the warehouse space is limited, so the boss also try to decrease the weight of side between the sides. So, but however, in ordinary stacking machine, that people need to drive inside, and this makes the driver more dangerous than use the stacking machine. So robot can apply on this, and it's problem that because the robot is more quickly and accurately, then it can make the flow of the goods or flow of goods and to increase, and also can increase the warehouse usage. Then this is an example of robot we use in reality, and this is known as stacker cranes. That is use a system to control it, and user can use the remote control to control it. So it can ensure the employees' safety, and it also can increase the flow of the goods and the warehouse usage. Then so we think that it achieved the traffic growth in SDG because it increased the warehouse efficiency. And now this is all we think the robot apply on each part and each achieve growth. So we can see that robot can apply on many parts, and it also can improve our life. Then so in final, we will conclude the 3 points about robot and it can improve our future. Then one thing that about car product processing or drug listing, it can make the processing more safer and efficient. And in medicine science, it also can let the surgery more safer, and the care robot can solve the shortage of labor. Someone don't need care. And I think the final point that is important that it can let us put more focus on technology, SNG, and application. Then it's what information we got from. Then it's all. Thanks.
All the points are 1 over 1. Why? You have not checked? So this type of spelling mistakes in the slide should not be. But no. And then you can make it in PDF and show it. If you want to which SDG the robotics is actually going to solve, which you will propose in the next one. Yeah, which one you will choose? For the second one, for the next proposal. Have you think about something that hey, we will choose this one? Team 5.
Hello everyone and welcome to the proposal for a traffic power plant. We're Team 5 and we're giving a novel solution to the UN SDGs 7 and 11, which is affordable and clean energy and sustainable cities and communities. So yes, you heard that right, a traffic power plant. How exactly does that even work? So in the simplest terms, or in the simplest form, it is just a power plant that creates renewable energy. Not exactly novel, we know the common culprits, such as wind energy, solar energy, hydroelectrical, which is also marine, which was a presentation that was done just before us. And we're going to talk about a single plant that can harness two forms of energy. We're used to the usual wind turbines that harness wind. We have solar panel plants and solar panel farms that harness the solar power, but now we have a single plant. So with this innovation, we're proposing to utilize and exploit the convenient setting of everyday traffic. So even in Taiwan, you can see there's a lot of cars going by, ongoing by traffic, and we're trying to exploit that to create energy that is renewable and that can actually be used for larger scale products. Now, before we get into the meat of it, my partners are going to provide some pretext of how exactly this innovation came to be.
So basically everything starts actually from the traditional wind turbine itself, where it harnesses the wind. So basically, the traditional wind turbine, it works like actual propeller blades, where it has the three propeller blades, and then it has a tall tower, and then so it catches the wind. And for this, it has a lot of advantages too, such as just low operating costs, basically because it uses the renewable energy, which is wind, so it doesn't cost anything. And it's very efficient in land space use. Basically, it's just a tall tower built on itself, so it doesn't take too much space in the area. And we can build a lot of these at one time. And it's also a renewable energy, which is, we can just use it again and again and again, and it never runs out because it's just wind currents flowing by, and we take that advantage of the renewable energy. But then there's also the drawbacks of these, which is where we can see like a lot of land spaces or sceneries where these are built in. So as you can see in right here, we have a lot of these beautiful sceneries, but then it's covered by the traditional wind turbine, which is really irritating and it causes visual pollution. And there's also kind of like a negative effect on surrounding like environment. So directly it will affect like the birds going by. Some birds will actually caught up in the propeller, and the propeller might do something wrong and it will malfunction. Or it's gonna be like a butterfly effect where this happens, it will affect the other things too. And it is also very intermittent. Basically, if there's a day where there's no wind, so you can't make enough energy for it, and vice versa.
I'm going to tell you briefly about solar panels, just like water that, and what is that? Even then it's just kind of that. Well, solar panels for the first is a device that converts sunlight into electricity by photovoltaic cells. It's important for them. And it's not obviously for everybody that it converts, but anyway, that means that the main resource of this method of generating energy is light, which is not always available due to weather conditions or time of day. Also over time, of course, the panels accumulate dirt, dust, etc., which affects on them, affects of their efficiency, which reduces because of that. Also, the initial cost of solar panels is very high, but in industrial and commercial facilities, they allow significant savings on the energy supply. They're also used in space stations and satellites as they operate for a long time without any cost. And at the same time, they are environmentally friendly than isotope or nuclear alternatives. Anyway, solar panels cannot be changed of oil, coal, or nuclear energy, of course, because they have a really low efficiency and also, as I said before, initial cost, but it can be used in different ways, which can make them a great additional for traditional ways. And yes, that's all.
So what exactly is the point of us introducing these? It's because the traffic power plant uses both. So the modern traffic power plant. How did we come up with this? So actually we saw this video of a traffic power plant or a roadside wind turbine that is placed in Turkey. And actually there's a little video that we put, but I don't know, I think we'll keep it brief. So let's just talk about how exactly this works. So it is basically a wind turbine placed on the roadside by the traffic, between traffic, so that we can harness the wind currents that are generated by vehicles. What are the advantages? Well, its placement in a setting that's traffic, basically, it's actually really convenient because we can't stop people from using fossil fuels in cars and traffic, so let's just make use of that to generate something that's more renewable, something more sustainable, and something that can help us develop. So it eliminates one of its biggest weaknesses, as mentioned before. The wind turbines have a huge visual pollution, and it actually is eliminated in this setting because when you're driving, you don't really look around and look at the scenery and everything. So this doesn't actually cover anything. Next up, it harnesses the neglected generated wind currents that are created by passing traffic. And it also eliminates the intermittency of this issue, such as the consistency and the volume of wind currents that are increased, generated because of the cars, can actually make the inefficiency of wind currents negligible. And finally, not to mention other macroeconomic benefits, such as job creation. When these are being constructed, we will have to hire workers, which create jobs for greater macroeconomic growth. And finally, we have the drawbacks, or the disadvantages. And it is the construction that might disrupt traffic. The investment in a convenient setting, such as the traffic, may be counterintuitive, because when you're exploiting something that's so fundamental in travel, in the traffic, it can actually backfire and actually stop productivity from workers trying to get to work and being disrupted by the construction. Next up, we have similar drawbacks of high initial costs, such as the solar panels' high initial costs. This will be difficult because we have to do a lot of infrastructure planning, because when it's planned out in the traffic, we have to connect everything, and the need for the wind turbines' direct grid connection will actually lead to a lot of planning needed for this installment and deployment. And finally, the last drawback is the solar panels are somewhat gimmicky. We talked about how solar panels are actually most efficient and is actually taking advantage of this surface area that they're capturing for solar energy. But actually, if we're creating something so tiny, I don't think the use of a solar panel at the top will actually make any sort of impactful addition. So, yeah.
Okay, for the next one is through the scope of UN SDGs. So, like all we know that like SDGs is created by the UN for the better future. So this is where proposing for the 7 SDGs, which is affordable and clean energy. So the goal for these 7 SDGs is the first one is to refer to the sustainability of energy, and also countries are to make technological advancements and innovate ways of generating renewable energy. And how this wind turbine contributes to the goal is because with the wind turbine, it makes it efficient for the generation of renewable energy, because renewable energy means cost efficiency. And also it is also can be the counteraction towards the use of fossil fuel powered vehicle.
So after we have the SDG 7, which is just clean energy and stuff, we have an SDG 11, which is also sustainable cities and communities. basically, our goal of creating this, having this design of, to just make the goal of making cities and human settlements more safe, more reliable, resilient, and inclusive. And we're achieving that by using those, and we will reduce more greenhouse gases because they're just using wind, and we're not using anything else like bad or like fossil fuels and stuff. And as Ben mentioned, the infrastructure has some problems if we put in that, so it will kind of like push the people to have an interconnected infrastructure. Basically, when we start building this up, then the infrastructure must follow. So it will just promote this. And it will allow for more reliability on renewable sources, which is a very reasonable future that we should go to.
Okay, so what are the possible future developments? As you guys can see, the initial goal of this was to utilize the waste energy from the fossil fuel cars. So a very possible development is basically just place it strategically at the place that, like MRT, that uses electricity, so it's not as harmful to the environment. So it's basically a clear plan for it is to position them as at places that would actually uses real clean energy, like electricity. Another one is actually because like the original design of it is taking up a lot of spaces. So that's why we can now integrate it into street lamps and maybe provide a cleaner look for the environment basically. Yep. And so my friend will continue with the development.
The next one, I want to talk about the future outlook of the turbine blades. We need to consider the influence of the resistance force on the blades. The resistance force will affect the generation speed and slow it down. We find a new solution to this problem. We can combine a new type of recyclable carbon fiber composite material with the blades, so the turbine can increase the speed and improve the power generation. When the machine breaks down and need to be abandoned, the blades can be recycled. I think turning this new product into an environmental friendly industry is a good expectation for the future.
Thank you for listening. And we have our work cited, and that's our presentation. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Thank you. Welcoming any questions from audience or Professor Patel? No, so it's just the whole thing, like the traffic carbon. But then we're also talking about developments that
we're using solar and wind together.
Yeah.
How will you go about the cost? Can you think about something?
Yeah, we covered high initial costs because actually we already have for example, a simulation. Like the third one is the recyclable products. We're using
Carbon fiber is recyclable.
Not necessarily. But
instead of recyclable one, you can use biodegradable material. That's more environmental. Good. Team 6.
Resounded.
Hello everyone, we're team number 6. And in today's presentation, we're going to talk about IoT, or Internet of Things. If I ask myself what is IoTP, or Internet of Things, I could say that is basically the internet we use in our daily life to communicate each other, to share data with the friends, who is maybe in the other side of the world. But in this case, the internet is connected to device we use in our daily life, like air conditioner, TV, or security cameras, and also industry devices to make them more intelligent and autonomous.
Okay, then why we're doing this title is because this is Shopee, one of the most famous online shopping websites in Taiwan. But it has a big problem. Once there are sales, the flight will be stopped. We know November 11 is coming, so we are expecting that there are many people will buy something on Shopee. And like my experience, last time I buy stuff, and the stuff stay in the distribution center for 6 days for nothing. Just stay there and keep producing nothing. And to save money, they open a shop that the left picture, there is no curve in it, but it makes more trouble when getting stuff. So I came up with the question is how to make the delivery faster and more intelligent.
Okay, so I'm going to explain how Internet of Things works. When we talk about the Internet of Things, we have to focus mainly on one thing, data. It's all about how we move data through different parts. We begin since the sensors. We collect data, then that data is transmitted to the cloud, then all of that data is processed and analyzed, and then it's finally given back to the user. However, to expand on this, what are the components of IoT? The components are the devices, the gateway, the cloud, the analytics part that is usually very related with the cloud itself, and the user interface. But what are the devices? The devices are mostly based on sensors. Sensors that can sense about anything, from temperature, humidity, motion, light, all sorts of things. All of these sensors, their main purpose is just a collection of data. This data then will be used through connectivity. Just how the name says, the Internet of Things. So, what do these things use? They use different protocols like Wi-Fi, Bluetooth, Zigbee, or different cellular networks. We can see a lot of examples of this in almost everyday devices nowadays. Almost everything has internet applied to them nowadays. So, what happens when the data processing? As I was saying before, the data processing itself has a lot to do with the cloud. Why? Because the data is sent to the cloud, and in there it's processed and both analyzed. What is the purpose of this analytics? This IoT data is stored and analyzed on cloud servers, allowing for remote access and real-time insights. What does this mean? We go all the way to this. These insights and all of this data that is analyzed can just be translated into a user interface. So, in a nutshell, the Internet of Things is all about how to move data from one point all the way for someone to be able to read it and be able to understand it.
So next is benefits and challenges. For the first one, the benefit of IoT is increased efficiency. This is because IoT can optimize processes which may lead to an increased efficiency. The second one is improved decision making. IoT can generate a vast amount of data and ideas which may lead to a better decision making
in businesses or in many kinds of organizations. The third one is cost reduction. IoT is able to reduce the amount of energy used in a process. And the other one is enhanced safety and security as well as remote monitoring and control. So IoT is able to continuously monitor and input data, which is relatable with enhanced safety and security because, for example, in modern houses, they have a smart smoke detector. So how this works is when this detector detects an increase in carbon monoxide level, IoT is able to directly send an emergency alert or like a notification to the smartphone of the homeowner, which may alert them about the current situation. Another example is in modern cars where they have an emergency system where if anything happens to the car or the person, the car can directly send a signal or a notification to the car's company so that they can directly send help to the car. And then challenges. The first one is data privacy and security. Because IoT is able to contain a lot and many kinds of data, they are a bit vulnerable to hacking and cyber security. And second one is scalability, because IoT is able to contain many and a lot kinds of data. It might be a bit challenging for the IoT system to be able to work properly. And the last one is power consumption. So IoT needs a large amount of power in order to be able to make the best decisions and to be able to make a process more efficient.
Okay, then its applications. With the IoT developing, there are more products in our life, such as Google's and Apple's are developing smart home devices and smart watches, and like Foxconn industrial IoT, such as a main factory and then smart agriculture and healthcare. And I find some applications that can achieve SDGs. Such first is biostamp. It's a sticker on the skin, and there are sensors like photo detectors, temperature sensors, and it can detect body data such as temperature, blood pressure, glucose, oxygen, something like that. And if it is connected by NFC, you can upload data to the cell phone's app. And if there's something wrong, you will send alarm to cell phone's app, or maybe give the data to your doctor and tell him what's going wrong. And the first biostem I think is feed the good health and well-being. And second is IoT horticulture. And there are sensors can let us know how much kind of vegetables grow, water needed, disease, even take pictures by drones or satellite to help farmers to take decisions. And the systems can ensure food supply and save water, avoid water wasted. And the third one is Taiwanese example. And we know Taiwanese has many rivers and rain heavily sometimes, and that makes rivers become dangerous. And so the water resources agency made a system, use the sensors under the water, and with GIS and AI technique can alert downstream people by line and national alert. And I think it's part of smart city, and it can help sustainable cities and communities. And we are going to back to the motivations by smart delivery, because Taiwanese shopping is bad, so we're going to learn from other countries. And this is Amazon's distribution center, and there are coding on the package and the position centers in the cart, and the cart is all controlled. So we can buy the robot arm, and we can declare where the package should go. And I think if the industrial innovations and make a better experience for shoppers.
So IoT is expected to improve over time. So IoT is expected to continue growing, connecting more devices and industries. And we have a few areas where we expect to see improvements. We have 5G connectivity, energy efficiency, IoT in transportation, IoT in security, and AI and machine learning integration. 5G connectivity. Henry 5G network. The rollout of the 5G network is enhancing IoT capability by improving faster, more reliable, and low latency connection. So we're going to be connecting more devices quicker. You're going to be receiving your information a bit quicker. Next slide. We're also going to, IoT is also improving energy efficiency. It is expected to improve battery life and reducing energy consumption. Next. Transportation, we have more smart vehicles and more autonomous driving technology, which also is going to enhance our traffic management systems. It's also going to improve security. So basically, the advancements in IoT security includes secure bootstrapping and secure device management and the use of IoT security standards. AI and machine learning integration. AI devices are increasingly incorporating AI and machine learning algorithms and data analysis. It's also enabling predictive analytics. And it's also going to improve advanced decision making. So this is the end of our presentation. This is our sources, and yeah, thank you.
What are the key benefits of IoT, drawbacks which you have, which is there in the system of mobility? Team 7.
Well, good afternoon, everyone. We are group number 7, and we're going to present our topic, which is 3D printing. So 3D printing is a process of creating three-dimensional objects for a digital model by layering material on top on itself. So now we are going to review 3D printing technology. The first one is fused position modeling. It's a common 3D printing technology that uses thermoplastic materials and stack the materials layers layer by layer through the outer of the machine to form an object.
So the next type is the stereolithography. This is the most common 3D printing process that involves the use of resin. And its main components are the building platform, the resin tank, and the light source. And the way it works, first the resin is poured into the platform, and then the UV light is directed to the resin, so the resin solidifies. And this process repeats several times until the object we want to achieve is produced.
Selective lasers sintering. This is a technology that melts powder to make objects. So it uses laser to melt a layer of powder to create new objects.
The next one is the binder jetting. This process only uses two materials. One is the binder, which works as an adhesive, and the other one is the building material, which is usually in the form of a powder. And the way it works, the machine alternates between the binder and the building material to form the object we want to achieve.
So if we take a look to this chart, it compares the different types of 3D printing based on the resolution, accuracy, advantage, shortcoming, and application. So if we can see for the FDM, resolution is low. But what means resolution low? It means that the details will be not really well defined, and also it maybe could appear a little bit pixelated. For accuracy, it's also low, and this means that the final product won't be the shape and the size won't be as was originally planned, so it will have a difference. For advantage, we know that we can see that it's fast and has a low cost. So for shortcoming, as I just mentioned, is short precision and entirely limited design compatibility, which means that again the final object won't be as planned. So we have difference in shape and size. For application, it's a low-cost rapid prototyping basic proof of concept model. So for SLA, we have that resolution is high, accuracy is high, and advantage is that high precision has many uses and have smooth surface treatment. For shortcoming is that the large boy volume it can be exposed to the USB rays for a long period of time because it's going to affect the object. So our recommendation is not to put it under the sun for much time. And for application, each application is related to the dental and the jewelry field by manufacturing prototyping. For jewelry, it's usually used for doing rings and also pendant. And for SLS, resolution is high, accuracy is high, and advantage is that it's powerful, it's functional, it's self-supporting, and also it has a free form design. For shortcoming, it has a loose surface design, and it has limited material selection, so it cannot be used with so many materials. It depends. For application is functional prototyping, short-run, bridge, or custom production. For PG, we have that resolution is high, accuracy is high. Advantage is ability to manufacture particularly fine parts, good surface quality. For shortcoming is that maybe other technologies we have better mechanical properties. This is not really good at it. For application, it can be modified and customized on the fly, making it suitable for various production application. What does it mean? It means that it can be modified on the process. So it's really helpful. It's also used from the world.
So now we're going to talk about the common printing materials. The first one is the thermoplastics. These are one of the most common materials because of their variety of colors, and also because it's really easy to use since when it's exposed to heat, it becomes moldable, and when it cools down, it becomes solid. The next one is the UV curable resin. This is commonly used when we want to achieve a more uniform and precise object, and it usually applied for medical and industrial prototypes. The third one is the metal powder. This one is mainly used when we want to create metal parts, and the most common metals that are used are the nickel, the steel, the titanium, and the cobalt.
For certain material, it involves using ceramic powder and braiding material to make objects layer by layer. And for biomaterials, biomaterials are material that it can use in the medical and in the biological field. So for biomaterials, it can use for making implants and prostheses.
So now I'm going to talk about the application of the 3D printing technology. We have several sectors where the 3D printing can be applied. The first one is when we want to prototype something. 3D printing makes it easier because it can reduce the cost and the time of manufacturing something. And it can also make more possibilities to design more complex products. When we talk about manufacturing tools, it can provide the possibility of creating customized tools to make it easier for someone to achieve something, depending on their needs. The third one is applying it for parts with complex shapes. One example for this can be the gears that are like really uniform forms. So it can make easier the production of more specific shapes. The next one is for medical applications. In this one, using 3D printed models can provide better comprehension of anatomical structures and allows the fabrication of organs, prosthetics, and implants. The next one is construction industry. Because this process is almost automatic, it can reduce the production time of bridges or walls or columns or anything that involves the construction. And also allows us to use precise amount of material, which reduces the waste generated. And the last one is with the food industry. This provides more variety of designs for certain types of food, which can allow industries to have new opportunities to expand their business.
Now we're going to talk about the future relevant of 3D printing. More materials. 3D printing technology can print now with many materials, where the materials are still limited. So with the development of material science, we hope that in the future we can use more materials that will be available for using. Larger printing range. Currently, the printing range of 3D printing technology is limited. With the development of printing technology, we hope that larger products can also be produced through 3D printing. And for more diverse application, with the development of 3D printing technology, we hope that in the future it will have more application fields, such as the industries for medicine, aerospace, construction, and also automotive. So to end this presentation, now we know that 3D printing is a technology that is used to build objects layer by layer. It uses many materials, but there are still some limitations. In the future, we can expect more options. Currently, it's more suitable for smaller objects, but with the advance of the technology, we'll be able to create larger items. Thank you. Because it's in brain, but it's also not yes.
Team number 8, you can come. Team number 8. How is it related to any of this? How manufacturing will be helpful to maintain
I need to say Chinese or English. 中文。我们等一下上材料课。报告人吗？我是报告人。我们这一组都要报告，我要上材料。全部人都要吗？只有 GDEC 材料的要上。对啊，你们3点半要上材料。我是下一组报告。
Who has class?
Can we go now? Yeah, it's already 15:10 it's already 15:10. No. I mean the schedule. It's already 3 over 10. Yeah.
So, what is sustainable? In general, sustainable development as related to the housing sector is referred to as sustainable housing. Sustainable is one that minimizes the effects of climate change and the carbon footprint of the occupant through design, operation, and maintenance. This suggestion for more energy efficient construction came from diligent behavior combined with modern technology.
So why building sustainable housing can help solving SDGs? Because according to data from the International Renewable Energy Agency, cities account about 75% of global primary energy use. Therefore, cities are key actors in national and global efforts to transition to a net zero future. So basically, net zero means cutting greenhouse gas emissions to as close to zero as possible. And why is it very important? Because in order to avert the worst impacts of climate change and preserve a livable planet, global temperature increase needs to be limited to 1.5 degrees Celsius, above pre-industrial levels. And to keep global warming to no more than 1.5 degree, emissions needs to be reduced by 45% by 2030 and reach net zero by 2050. So, globally, the building industry is responsible for over a third of the world's entire carbon dioxide emissions, which can harm people's health and well-being. That's why building sustainable houses can help reduce the embodied carbon in materials.
And for a sustainable house course or environmental, I need to first to talk about air quality. Air quality is important. The research found that air quality could boost student performance up to 15%. So air quality is important. And a sustainable house need to consist the air quality inside need to above the air quality above. And all of the materials are non-toxic, so the material will not release something toxic in the air. And they are more eco-friendly. The materials are non-toxic, proper, and sustainable to adapt the environmental. And there are arrangements to use renewable energy like a solar panel. And for saving money, the sustainable house could allow users to save much more by reducing operational and maintenance costs on energy. And that can be reused to the resource. Next page. This is the diagram for winter to a sustainable house. The sunshine shining can high up the temperature, so they don't need to turn on the air condition. And the sunshine shining will keep the light, so that don't need to turn on the light either. And the used water like kitchen and bathroom or the rain can reuse to like irrigation to the garden, and that can also save the money.
For the downsides of sustainable housing, we're just going to focus on two. The first one we want to focus on is the materials. Within sustainable housing, you want your materials to do two things. You want it to function as like normal like construction materials, but you also want it to come from a sustainable and renewable source. So that means like once you use it, you can come back to the same source and find it again, and keep doing that for years and years. But the drawback between these kind of materials, they're highly experimental. By this I mean like achieving these two things, being construction material and being sustainable, is still a very new concept. And so they're still trying to figure out the works while also trying to make it very, how do you say it, the source of it accessible. Here's an example of like material experimental material that is sustainable. Because in Taiwan, it's a very high earthquake zone, so I feel like steel, like a steel frame for a house is a very good idea. But the normal way to get steel, it causes a lot of CO2 emissions. Over here is a company called Hybrid, and they're proposing an idea for creating steel without any use of CO2 emissions. But the drawbacks behind this it's a very new concept. So it has high risk of technical failure, meaning the product's not going to work, and high risk of market failure, because again, it's experimental, it's not accessible to by any local means. Also, because these materials are experimental, they also can cost like a lot to procure or obtain. And with that, it goes into planning. Planning is also a very hard thing to do when it comes to sustainable housing. Because not only you have to find these certain materials, you have to find good land to do it on, you have to look for experts, architects, engineers to procure this design, this house to meet all your needs for sustainability. And green building can be more complex because you also want it to achieve longevity. You want it to go on for years and years. You want it to be the new norm, the new normal for building.
Okay, so these are some of the sustainable housing organizations that are pursuing to achieve sustainable housing. The first one is Vilux. It's the place that they make is Living Places Copenhagen. So this is still just a sort of a demo, like an exhibition to spread awareness on how they plan to build houses in the future using those houses at the top left. And so it's kind of like a museum as of now, but probably in the future they will implement it in actual house building. And then the second one is Bioregional. They make this village called Bedzet. This is a sustainable community and also sustainable housing where they live in like this sustainable building. And also there are actually actual people living in this place. It's very sustainable. They use solar power, solar panels to power the entire village, and also they buy the rest of the power that they could not get from other environmentally friendly power companies. And then the third one is Eco Village at Ithaca. This is also kind of similar to Bioregional, the Bedzet one, because they are also a village where people actually live in the houses. Here they are focused more on sustainable communities, so the people here, they are very tightly knit to each other. They are trying to maintain the continuous life of this particular village. The houses are very sustainable. They're made out of wood. They're made to trap heat during the winter, but also to expel the heat during the summer, the hot weathers. They use solar panels. They plant their own food, and etc. So it's just basically a community that is very, very focusing on sustainability.
Okay, our example of the sustainable house is 陶朱语言.
Yuan is the most famous and most expensive building in Taiwan. But in the same time, this building is an incredible sustainable house. So what this building make? Let's take a look. The first is each household has a garden of 162 square meters and has a green coverage rate reaches 245%. This means the plants can make the air around the building very clean and refreshed. And next, it has 500 square meters of solar panels and 2 wind turbines. This means this building can supply the electricity by itself. And the next, it has the energy saving lights throughout the building and the rainwater recycling irrigation equipment. These two equipment means that it can save a lot of water and energy. And it also has the low E glass, reducing energy consumption. What is low E glass? This type of glass is combined with 2 layers of glass, and inside 2 layers of glass, it doesn't have any matter and the air. It's a vacuum, so it can reduce energy. And last but not least, it can save in 140,573 kilowatt hours per year. In sum, given to the points mentioned above, Yuan is undoubtedly, I don't know how to say that, sorry, is absolutely the great sustainable house. Thank you.
Good night.
Literalmente hice cosas de literalmente no perdí el orgullo. Hi guys, welcome to our presentation. We are gonna present a case study on a problematic that we have in Paraguay. That is going to be water distribution on rural regions, rural areas in Paraguay by using energy pumping with green energy that we provide in Paraguay. Now let's talk about clean energy.
Okay, so our main topic will be clean energy. First of all, what is clean energy? It is a solution to an ongoing problem of climate change and carbon emissions, and we provide different types of solutions like the solar panels, turbines, and etc. to combat that problem.
Yes, my group's goal is to evaluate a case study of the current drought pandemic in Paraguay and using technology to come up with a solution, or various solutions. Since 2019, Paraguay has been in the grips of severe drought. The three largest rivers, which has been the main source of fresh water, has been on a steady decline, reaching the lowest levels in this nation's history.
Okay, so now we know the country is getting dry, and our sources of water apparently are getting lower and lower. What are the effects of that? Hope nobody here is sensitive to bad pictures, but for example, water, like pure water provision in Paraguay sometimes is unknown for some areas of the country. Thus, is that enough for the government to start moving, like really moving? No, not actually. Not actually. Other effects of this is that because not only people's water consumption is lowered, it means that also the water that cattle uses to keep on living gets lower, and the water that we use to cultivate crops is also lower. That means that both for consumption inside the country and for exports are lower. That means less money. But does that mean that Paraguay doesn't have the resources of water? No, we actually have lots of water. For example, Paraguay has literally all around this place water, like separated in three big and main rivers. The Paraguay, the Pilcomayo, and the Paraná River. But we'll focus on two of them, the Paraguay and the Paraná River. These two provide clean water for all the country, allegedly, and it helps for the import and export as the only pathway that we have to the sea. It also helps, of course, with fishing and everything. And let's focus even more in the Paraná River. The Paraná River, because of its current, it provides us with two hydroelectric plants. One of them is the Itaipu Dam, that is the second biggest in the whole world, and also the biggest producer of energy in the whole world. That these two dams provide all the energy that we need in the whole country, and also helps us sell energy to other countries. Also,
Paraguay is also home to the world's second largest freshwater aquifer. An aquifer is basically an underground well which has a large source of fresh water. Just 50 to 600 meters beneath the surface of Paraguay's ground surface lies this aquifer. It is said to be able to supply fresh water to the entire world for 1,600 years.
Okay, so now we know the country does have resources, water resources. But what is the country, what's our government doing with it? Okay, theoretically, we have, first of all, this problem is not only in Paraguay, this problem is actually in all around the whole South American region. That's why there are these treatments and organizations, for example, the United Nations, and the South American Economic Treatment and its parliament that helps on providing any kind of projects and plans. And of course, our own country's nature and sustainability ministry that provides plans, laws, and projects for the whole country. For example, this example would be the Pozo Colorado and Loma Plata aqueduct that provides water, pure water, to basically all the occidental region of our country, which is basically a desert, providing it for around 130,000 people in the region. But this is annually, and this started in the September 14th of 2021. But in reality, that is not actually that true. We have problems, and it's mostly related to corruption and misuse of the money of the investments. Because the materials that were used for the aqueduct aren't as good as they should have. What about other countries?
Okay, so now we have an understanding of what's happening in Paraguay thanks to Nicholas and Celsius' introduction. And I'm going to talk about what other countries are doing to address their water crisis. First, we have the water solar oasis, and it is applied in Africa. So as we know, there's a Sahara Desert in Africa, and so we know there's a long drought season every year, and it's apparent that they have a water crisis as well. And what would you do if there's a huge sun sitting on top of you, and you need energy for water supply? You can set up a lot of solar panels and in order to generate energy from the sun and use that energy for your water distribution. And that's exactly what they did. And it is not only a genius way, but also it is very efficient as well. And the reasons it is efficient is because it reduces the cost greatly, literally the energy is free. And also it reduces a lot of water losses because there's no human operation involved in it. And for the other example, for the other example is the canal water system, and it is applied in the Middle East. And as we have learned in high school geography, there's also a long drought season over there as well. And how they did it is, however, they have a natural resource, which is the water underground and beneath the surface. So what they did is they built this tunnel, or you can say canal, underwater, and and this construction allows the water to flow perfectly into every place. So that's how the two of the countries address their water crisis. So you may wonder, what does this ancient technology have anything to do with advanced technology? So here's my explanation. Actually, this kind of technology is currently being this technology is currently being renovated and applied for a broader application from a variety of organizations. So, but we will not dig deeper into this topic, as we will head back to Paraguay next and talk about what potential applications could be done in Paraguay, since we just mentioned there's already enough natural resources and infrastructure.
Alright, so first, we already dived into the problem, so now we have to find a solution. So first, what do we need? First, we need the technology and energy, money,
time, and manpower. We already have the resources of water, money, time, and manpower. I'm pretty sure it's enough. But how do we use the energy really efficiently? Because first, to reduce carbon emissions and also to efficiently distribute the water into the rural areas of drought in Paraguay. Alright, so using the two examples, we've come to a solution by using the canal water system to efficiently transport water on a longer stretch of land. But of course, that is only limited. We can only provide the water to certain areas and certain concentrated wells in which people have to go there. So how do we distribute it more evenly throughout the people? Because I'm pretty sure those areas are spread out with communities. We will use the water solar oasis by using the energy to pump the water throughout those communities.
Okay, so in conclusion, based on what you've seen today with our presentation, Paraguay does have resources, we do have chances, and we do have everything in hand to make it good, even engineering. What do we have to make? We have to stop worrying. We have to start having real good politicians, and strict laws that are actually implemented in our country. That's more in the politics side, but it needs to be done for us engineers to do it. And yeah, that's it. Thank you.
The idea of clean water distribution or clean water source finding?
Distribution. We do know where it's.
You do know the source. You want an idea of a distribution of that. We have been to one class.
No, I'm not going to class.
Team 10?
We don't have classes, so we can do it.
You can present.
Where's the?
So other have been here? Other are presented?
The other three are having class and three of us
Okay.
are going to stay. Yeah.
Good evening, Professor and friends. Now I'm going to talk about how smart connected products are transforming economy. So I'm going to talk in the realms of IoT and then the form of XDG 8, which is about the better economy for everyone. Next slide, please. So I'm gonna do the presentation timeline for this research. I'm gonna do a research about Michael Porter journal, and this is the timeline where I'm gonna explain one of these things. The history and description about smart and connected products, smart and connected products capabilities and potentials, best business model option, and all the mistakes to avoid for the competitions. And for the last, I'm going to talk about smart connected products direct and indirect impact to the economy and competition for all the participants. Next slide. So I'm going to talk about how smart and connected products are transforming economies. So because everyone in the participating in the competition needs to bring a value into this world. So because of this world, right now there's too much planned obsoletes. For example, Apple planned their product so the battery lasts shorter if they're coming with a new product. So if Apple is launching a new product, somehow all their last product just become sucks. Like their battery become last faster to drain. That's why they need their products to be bad, because the customers gonna buy all their new product. And because of that, we need to make a positive sum competition. So the customer and the retailer can have a both positive impact on the competition. Next. So now I'm gonna talk about enhanced functional and reliability, internal process, disruption of value change, and reshaping industry structures. Wait, let me have a drink first. So there's an enhanced functionality and reliability because of the smart connected products, because there's an unprecedented opportunities for improved functionality and reliability. And then there's an increased product utilization and capabilities beyond traditional boundaries that cannot be used by just a traditional one product without the IoT thing. And then there's an internal process transformation which require the fundamental re-evaluation and internal process to adapt the changing competitive landscape. And then the disruption of value change, because there's a new things involved in the market, that means all the value change are disruptive. Which I mean by that is people need to find a new way to put a value into the competition. And then the reshaped industry structure is pretty similar to the disruption of value change. And then the emergence of new sector, because there's a lot more opportunity right now, then it means there's a lot more products and service to be made. Next. So in here, it's pretty much the same as the last slide, but I want to clarify on this thing. So there's a clarification on Internet of Things. The product and the service keep changing over time because of the new technologies invention, but there's one thing that is common, which is the competition. The competition and the competitive advantage remains the same. So the rules of the Michael Porter 5 forces and all the others still remains the same. But the product and the service that is getting to us is always getting better and better because all the inventions. Next. So I'm gonna talk about the third wave of the IT disruption era. So for the historical context, information technology has transferred competition and strategy twice in the past 50 years. And the modern information technology contrasts with manual paper-based process in the pre-IT era. And then in the first wave, it's the first value chain is being automated, and a significant productivity is increased because of there's a data capture and analyzing the data for the first time. And for the second wave, there's a rise of the internet of coordination and integration across activities, supplier channel, and geographic. This is the time where internet was used around the world. So there's a global supply chain closely integrated and contributing to productivity gains. And there's the unaffected product era, which there's still products remain unaffected by the global change, which I can say the commodities, because we still buy the food just the same 50 years ago. There's no change of the system in that. And there's the emergence of the third wave. The IT become integral part of the product itself in the third wave, embedded sensor, processor, software, connectivity. I'm going to talk in the Industry 4.0 or the Smart Society 5.0. The Industry 4.0 in German, which focus on the manufacturer, and then the Smart Society 5.0, which focus on the Japan, which focus more on the society itself. Next. So like, what are smart connected products? It's the products that connected within himself, within the product connectivity, product cloud, identity security, and external information sources, which integrate within the business system. Next, please. So like, what is connectivity? The connectivity can be divided by three of them. It's one-to-one, one-to-many, and many-to-many. So like for one-to-one, it's for example the car dealership and the car that they sell. For example, like Tesla sell their own cars, and then like one-to-many. For example, the Tesla sells many products, not just the cars. Like they sell other products than the car, like the smart automation, or like the car that can drive itself. All the data inside, it's called the one-to-many. And then like many-to-many, I'll explain that in the next slide because it's one of the things that we'll focus more right now. Next. So like, there's three components that is pretty important right now. There's a physical component, smart component, and connectivity component. For the physical component of the smart connected products, are we talking about mechanical and electrical part? For the smart components, we're gonna talk about sensor, microprocessor, and storage. And then we're gonna talk about like replacing hardware components to enable the versatile performance. And then the connectivity component, we're gonna talk about the antennae, the ports, and then like the things that connecting each other for all the physical components. Next, please. Then there's a technology infrastructure requirement. There's a new technological stack because the technology keeps changing, we need to like have a better hardware, we need to have a better software, better network, and a product cloud to integrate all of that. And then we have the identity and security structure, and then we need to see the economic feasibility factors because like if the investment is too high and it's not worth it to do it, then maybe the company shouldn't do the investment but I think for the situation right now, and there's too many investment for startups and technology, that's why like the money inside the new invention is really a lot. So like there's infrastructure for investment and skill. The better the technology goes, the better human quality that the world needs to make because the people needs to be smarter to control all those technologies. Next. Okay, and then like application across sectors, we're gonna talk about the heavy machinery, there's similar port technology. This is the system to wait for the elevator. So like if there's, for example, in here there's a 4 elevator, they have to make the system which elevator reach the fastest to the designated floor. And then for the second, the energy sector, we're gonna talk about the smart grid technology. This is the solar panel. And consumer good, big as ceiling fans. It's a ceiling fans that's gonna be integrated across the room. So it is integrated so all rooms can have the same fan and the same temperature across the room, and it's being moved around by the sensor. And I'm going to talk about the driver for smart and connected products, the technological innovation, because the breakthrough in sensor and battery performance, miniaturization, and energy efficiency. So like compact, low-cost computer processing power and data storage is getting better and better each day. Next. So like smart and connected product capabilities is divided by 4: monitoring, control, optimization, and autonomy, and it goes higher that way. Next. So like optimization analysis, optimization leverage data and algorithms to enhance efficiency and resource utilization, which benefits improve overall performance, reduce energy consumption, and maximize its output. An application is widely applied in manufacturing process, logistic, and energy management system. While the autonomy analysis, autonomy represents a higher level of intelligence, allowing product to operate independently by itself. And then the benefit is reduced dependency on human intervention. So the human can do other stuff while the machine is keep doing what it should be doing. And then the application, autonomous vehicles, smart grid, and robotic system benefit from this capability. Next slide. And then the last two is monitoring and then the control. Monitoring, providing real-time insight into product performance. This is important. Why? Because like the humans still need to keep track of the data and then make the analysis about the data. For example, like if some bus traffic station, like there's a traffic on the bus and then there's a really low of people coming to that station, then maybe it should be closed or like moved to other place. But we couldn't do it without the data. We need data to prove it. That's why like people still need to analyze the data itself. And then the benefit is enable to proactive maintenance, early issue detection, and data-driven decision making, not just by assuming it. And then the application, valuable industry like manufacturing, healthcare, and agriculture. And then for the last is for the control analysis. Control capability as a layer of interactivity, allowing user or system to influence product behaviorally remotely. And then it facilitates responsive action based on monitoring data, enhancing user experience, and operational usability. And this application is using in smart homes where all products are integrated within each other. So like there's a challenge between these smart connected products in the IoT realm. The first one is the security and privacy. As products become more connected and autonomous, addressing security and privacy concerns become more critical to protect sensitive data and prevent unauthorized access. Because like if someone's hacked into the system, they get all the data inside, and then because all personalized data are stored in cloud, that's why like it's really dangerous if someone can hack into the cloud. And then the integration complexity, because these capabilities are too high between the technology right now, it's posing a challenge in integration within the existing system and then the technology that we're gonna have in the future. Because like integration between the technology right now and the technology in the future, it's kind of hard for it to have a nice bridges in between. And then the future implication, we have an innovation driver and the economic impact. These capabilities serve as catalysts for innovation, paving the way for new business model, products, and service for us, humans. And then the adoption of smart connected products contribute to economic growth by improving efficiency, reducing costs, and creating new opportunities for everyone. Next. And then I'm going to talk about the Porter 5 forces, which is the threat of new entrants, bargaining power of buyers, threat of substitute product or service, and bargaining power of suppliers. And between all of that, there's a rivalry among existing competitors. Next. So like there's a threat of new entrants between these IoT realms. So like there's a sustainability economy perspective, which is the high entry barriers may discourage new entrants that do not align with the sustainability practice. So like people that don't have enough investment or like don't have enough skills or knowledge might not do the business that they want because they just gonna bring a bad value into the environment, because like they're just gonna produce waste into the environment because like they don't have enough money or like enough skills. And then like the impact on sustainable economy, it promotes the growth of sustainable industry, like the economic activities that consider environment and social impacts. Next. So like there's a bargaining power of buyers. This the type of the buyers have many options. So like the buyer can choose which one that directly impact the good of the economy. So like the buyer have choices between A and B, and then the A is supports SDG and the B is like only wanted profit. Then the buyer, because they have a lot of choices, they can choose which one brings a better SDGs for the environment. And then the impact on sustainable economy is encouraging business to adopt a sustainable practice to meet the consumer demand and fostering a more sustainable economic landscape for the future, which will be related to SDG A. And then there's a bargaining power of suppliers. This will happen opposite of what I just said. This is when happening, there's a lot of buyer, and then supplier can have a lot of product or service to be put in the real world. So like the supplier can choose the thing that they want to sell. So like supplier with sustainable and ethical practice gain importance in the supply chain because there's a lot of consumer who wants to buy this the product or service that they sell. And like the collaboration with responsible suppliers enhance the overall sustainability of products. And there's an impact on sustainable economy. It's foster responsible supply chain management, promoting fair labor for everyone, and for environmentally friendly sourcing. Next. And there's the threat of substitute product or selfish. Sustainable alternatives may pose a threat to traditional, less eco-friendly products. Innovation in green technologies provide substitutes that align with environmental and social goals. And the impact on sustainable economy is promote a shift towards sustainable and environmentally friendly alternatives, reducing the overall ecological footprint for the environment. Next. And the last is the intensity of the competitive rivalry. It's the fierce competition in sustainable practice may lead to continuous improvement and innovation. Collaboration and partnership for sustainability can emerge among industry players. Drive and the impact on the sustainable economy is drive business to enhance their environmental and social performance, contributing to a healthier and more sustainable economy. But there's a downside to this, because like if people cannot collaborate between each other, they're gonna start killing each other business. And when that's happened, someone needs to find a new way to create value between to the society. Next. So like we're gonna talk about the correlation between the IoT and then the business. So like this is the smart connected products. From a long time ago, farm tractor just using the product in itself, and then from the first way of the data driven, we can collect the data of the tractor, and then from the third, we can control the tractor, and then I collect the data. And like from this point onwards, there's a product system and system of system, where the tractor actually have the farm equipment system, where we have a planters, tillers, and combine harvester. And what do they do right now in like advanced country? They have like a weather data system that collects all the weather. So like the tractor can go automatically if the weather is nice, and like if the weather is supporting today harvestment. Next. And there's a business implication example right now. This is a smart wind turbine which connects just the same as the tractor. They have the weather sensor, and they're gonna move to be efficient to generate the most power out of everything. Next. And for the daily life implication, there's a polo shirt that count your energy and like your sweats, how many calories did you burn. And there's a unique tennis racket that from the first time, tennis racket just being used to play tennis, and because of there's an IoT in the product, there's a new business model. Now you can know like what did you do wrong in your serve or in your strokes. Next. And like now comes to the what companies should do and shouldn't do. Like they should focus on research allocation, so like there's a clear choice in focusing resource and time and effort on specific goals and initiatives, and prioritizing opportunities prevent the dilution of resource across too many projects. And the impact is efficient resource allocation, increase the likelihood of success in chosen endeavors. And then the avoiding scattered effort allow for a deeper and more impactful commitment to selected opportunities. Next. And like what companies should do on the market penetration expansion, like companies should choose a specific markets or customer segment that enhance a market penetration. And then bigger opportunities may involve expansion into new geographies or untapped markets that the company haven't tried before. And the impact is focused on targeted markets, ensure a more effective and efficient market entry. And the expansion into new areas provided avenues for growth and diversification. And like what the company shouldn't do is adding something useless to the society, underestimating security and privacy, failing to anticipate new competitive threat, waiting too long to start, overestimating internal capabilities. Next. So that's it about how smart connected products can do better for overall economy, which is correlated directly to SDG 8. Thank you.
are
What
you?
are the drawbacks and you want to overcome that drawbacks?
So like there's actually an important drawback between these value chains impact between the smart connected products and the whole economy situation, because like in the smart connected products era, everyone needs to bring value inside the competition. That's why like there's still people in this world who don't bring any value. By I mean don't bring any value, even like the social worker or like the trash can worker, they're bringing value by they're getting money out of their job, but there's still people who are like homeless and didn't want to do anything. And because of this impact, like most jobs are replaced by the smart connected products, right? That means there are less jobs, so like people need to build a better quality for themselves to survive in this whole new world. So like people needs to be smart and needs to know what they want to do in the future. And I think that's the main drawback for the whole society, because like not everyone is as privileged to do that.
What are the contribution of your members in this?
They help to make all the presentations, and we discuss together. We do the video calls.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you everyone.
Thanks, sir.